at you. Your heart is a magnet, I'm coming at you. Girl, you're my target, I'm aiming at you. You're a comet, I'm trying to catch you. We can break any rule they ever taught you. Forget about anything they ever bought you. Cause me and you don't need a lot in this world to get by. Plus you know I got you, you pull me in. I don't resist, time seems to fly but the clock doesn't tick. I crash into you, we both feel the hit. We both feel the way that our chemicals mix. And I wish that
if I just keep my eyes shut, maybe this time it'll be enough.
So I need the dark. Without you here, I would never see the stars. I'm headed for you. Foot on the gas. I'm coming straight at you, no looking back.
Welcome back, everyone. We are following the Professionals tournament tonight on the EU server rounds 1 and 2. So let's go over the Professionals tournament format. It's different to the previous skills tournament format. We are talking about the single round robin stage for the first stage. There are 8 teams in this bracket, and the top 4 will advance to the next round, which will be a knockout stage. But we'll talk more about that. As we are having a single round robin format, we have to talk a little bit about the tiebreaker rules. So it's a little bit more likely than the double round robin, whereby there are potentially teams that are tied with one another, and how do we decide which team goes forward and which team gets eliminated? We take a look at the following tiebreakers. So first of all, we take a look at the head-to-head round wins. So how many rounds they have won against one another. If that cannot be decided, and this is most likely in the case of a 3-way or even a 4-way tie, then we take a look at the head-to-head battle wins. So how many battles they have won against one another. And so that at least will have, well, I mean, that will not be just like a very low number. We can potentially see a high number. For example, if a team wins 2 rounds against the other tied teams, then at least they will have 8 battle wins altogether head to head. if that cannot be decided, we go over the total battle wins, the total number of battle wins. So that is pretty much throughout the entire stage. If that is still the same, we will have to wait for Tolian to find out the battle duration to see which team goes forward. I believe the team that uses less time to win will be given the advantage. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think Tolian would use that metric in when the about 3 metrics cannot be decided, cannot be used to decide the advancing team. So here are our 8 teams. We have APA, ARWV, Endgame, Ikra, Immortals, Crowley, Rejects, and TQT being our top 8 teams. We are following Endgame tonight, but we all know all 8 teams are on equal footing, so the current top 4 is just by alphabetical order. It doesn't mean anything. It all depends on the matches tonight. So professional tournament will be held from the 10th to the 13th. For the group stage, and the final stage 18th to the 20th. I might be following the challengers tournament at the the challengers tournament for the grand final. Yeah, that was what I was trying to say. I might follow the grand final of challengers tournament, but if not, maybe the lower echelon championship. It depends on which tournament that Tolian allocates me to, but we shall find out. Here is the bracket. I'll be following Endgame versus TQT. Nino will be following I think ARWV tonight. Let me double check. No. Nino will follow Rejects tonight. Fujit will follow APA, and Aminat will follow Crowley. Okay, so once again, Fujit will follow APA and Aminat will follow Crowley, and the first fixture would be Endgame versus TQT, ARWV versus Rejects, Immortals versus APA, and Crowley versus Ikra. The maps are Alpenstadt, Mine Ruins, New Bay, and Rockfield. So, I have to get the right time. Apologies for a couple of changes last minute. So here's the rundown. We first follow the first round on Alpenstadt, Mine Ruins, New Bay, and Rockfield, and then we go to the second round being Vineyards, Black Gopher, Middelburg, and Yukon. As we saw earlier on the Apex server round 1, these maps progressively get more armor oriented. So Alpenstadt is a little bit open, and then we go to Mine Ruins, which is a little bit more enclosed, and New Bay, which is very, very enclosed. Finally, Rockfield, which is suddenly wide open again. So if the team can survive in the first in the first 2 maps, if they're not too strong with armor or with mobility oriented maps, then New Bay would be a good one for them, for teams that are stronger on armor oriented maps. Or as for round 2, most of them, I mean, look at those maps except Yukon, those maps are very mobility oriented. So I would say tonight round 1 will benefit teams that are more armor oriented, and round 2 will benefit teams that are more mobility oriented. Endgame, I would say, is more tactical, so round 1 maps would benefit them. But then round 2 maps would be havens, will be a haven for the kind of those teams that use more CIS strategies. I mean, for example, TQT, Crowley, Rejects, and Ikra. I imagine round 2 maps will benefit them a lot. But we shall see. Round 1, I would say, like teams like Endgame ARWV, APA, and Immortals, these 4 teams should do well in the first round. And these teams are very closely matched. I will check out the predictions from Thomas Peterson. As you can see, Endgame, ARWV, APA are all predicted to win, except for Crowley versus Ikra, because we don't have those 4 clans being listed here in separate matches. So what I was trying to say is that round robin maps will benefit clans like Endgame, ARWV, APA, and Immortals, but Immortals are facing APA, and the odds for APA are really high, like 4-0 to APA, and Immortals are languishing with 13.6 odds, which is a lot. So if Immortals manage to make an upset to APA, that is going to be a huge upset. Crowley versus Ikra will get really close. So I mean, I don't know why Thomas Peterson is saying Endgame versus CQT 4-3. That could potentially be due to you know, the winter season where TQT won 4-3 against Serenity. So that kind of factors into the prediction, but then it was some time ago, so we will see. And then we have the challengers. Thomas Peterson has made the following predictions: Veil to win Noxus 3-0, Axe 3-1 against Paul, Raid very close against Istra, and Pog very close against FaZe. I heard from like the training coordinator that FaZe, I don't know if I should say that, maybe I should not, because that would not that would kind of you know, that would be a bit unfair to them, but maybe but then they still have pretty much the team from the previous skills tournament, so I don't know if I don't know if this is something I should say on the stream or not. But yeah, I think we are bound to see some really close games. Oh, as for lower echelon championship, I've calibrated all 16 clans here, so you are seeing some scoreline predictions. Trek is predicted to win against Ryesh. Unlucky predicted to win against Spot. Oleni predicted to win. I predicted, or otherwise known as Onyx Gan Team, predicted to win. And then we have TUFUA predicted to win, Crayon predicted to win, Cracked Esports and RNG both predicted to win. And I have to say, the seeding is pretty decent for the lower echelon championship, given it's a strongest to weakest principle, and things could get really weird when teams start to kind of utilize the seeding as much as they could. But the seeding looks pretty good, despite some clans seeded lower than I would expect. But then we aren't seeing, for instance, Crayon and RNG in the same group. Although Kraken Esports and RNG in the same group irks me a little, but still pretty decent. I'm not expecting anything more than that. And then here's the power rating, which we don't have a lot of time to go through. This is actually the old one. After I added some clans, the rating has changed a bit. But we use this rating for now because this is the rating I posted on my Discord server. And I didn't exclude Jones because due to force majeure situation, they weren't able to register their team again in the 4th River Skill Tournament, and have to feel really sorry about that, but nothing you could change. Force majeure situation, it's something you cannot predict to happen. And I hope we don't see any more force majeure situations on the EU server this season. It's not fun, and hope the captain of Jones is doing better now. He's in rehab at the moment due to the force majeure situation, which you can see why on the official Discord Wargaming Discord. But anyway, I will go into the room right now, and you can see the lounge here. So hello everyone, hello Brando, Florian, Patrick, Rose. Thank you Brando for the compliment. Thanks for this. It means a lot to me, thank you. And I really hope you will have a similar number of viewers as we did on the Apex server, which we had almost like... Ooh. I need to get to the room now before I forget. Which we had more than 40 people watching at one point. Let's reach that target, shall we? I think the last Proof of Skill tournament stream had some really good viewership, so I was very happy about that. Let's see if we can do the same here. Alright, so let's go to the lounge. As you can see, let's actually take a look at the challengers tournament groups. We have Vale versus Noxu, Axe versus Hu in group 1, and group 2 we have Raid versus Isra, Pog versus Face. Are we seeing... Oh, maybe I will actually. Let's do this again. I hope it will show a little Echelon Championship brackets as the slideshow goes. Let's see if it shows the little Echelon Championship groups. Oh yeah, there we go. We have Ryas versus Trick, Unlucky versus Bots. If you are from the team that do not have the clan logos on my stream, do feel free to tag your clan captain to send me your clan logo. I'm sure you will love to see your clan logo on this stream. Okay, let's go to Group 3. We have Opax versus TUFUA and Crayon versus PWNZ. Group 4, we have Hive versus Crack Esports, Raffle versus RNG. I don't think we have a lot of time left, so again, Group 2 will be Zero GT versus Olendi, and then DM versus Onyx Gang Team I. Let's go to the waiting room here. It's Endgame versus TQT. So Endgame, I don't recognize most of these names here, but you all know they are you have Nicolade, so on, players from coming from Serenity last season, and a couple in the original Endgame team. Then TQT, on the other hand, Nico pretty much led the team to a really good result last season, 4th place, but they managed to advance to the top 4 stage with a really tough group. I'm talking about the likes of Serenity and Ikra. They've beat them both 4-3. And I have a lots of expectations for TQT team this season. You can see really huge trajectory. I mean, no, a huge improvement in TQT's fortunes. And they're in the top 8 stage, so great to see that. So let's see about Endgame. They're going mostly to the C side, with TQT committing the forces over to the A and B side. Ariana... Pariana Prende. What is this name, dude? Oh my god. Everyone is just starting with a P here. I don't know why. It's Pain Game, not End Game. But I don't know. This is fascinating. Anyway, End Game will capture C first, and we could see potentially Nico flanking from below. We'll be spotting Pico or Nico. Nico versus Pico. This is going to be a tongue twister for me. I'm so sorry, but I need to. Sorry, I need to stop laughing at those names here. But look at Pariana Prende running away from the situation. Pego and Paufa. Good shots, Nico. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I need to control myself. Sorry. Pariana Grande takes a couple of shots and puts a good shot, and then that's Lego putting a good shot onto Classico. But Nico takes a hit from Paufa, and Classico takes another one from Pego. I'm so sorry. Apparel or Carolade, as we all know, takes a hit. So far, both teams have traded relatively equally. Ooh, Endgame takes a couple more shots from TQT. So the hit points are slightly in favor of TQT. Meanwhile, Endgame have the cap lead. I'm just gonna double check. The scoreboard. It's correct. I had Senate versus Eagle earlier on the Apex server. I noticed that immediately and I quickly changed that, so I don't want to see something similar on in this battle here. So we could see TQT holding this one well. It will be difficult for Endgame to rotate, but they don't need to do that. It's TQT that needs to rotate. Oh, Pimenta takes a hit there. I don't know who they are again. I don't think it's Pusia. Oh dear. That doesn't sound appropriate, isn't it? You might say... Oh, come on. I don't know how to say it better. Maybe I would call you Puss for now. Sorry if this is against community guidelines, but Endgame are dropping quite some hit points, and TQT will be happy about the hit point advantage they are having at the moment. So, we're seeing Endgame in positions. I think, well, they traded the hit points nicely, so for me it's like, I don't know how Endgame could do this, but TQT, they are doing nicely with trading, and Rimpelstiltskin is what is called for this player according to Mnet, so I would stick to that, and it's confirmed by the player too, Rimpelstiltskin. So Endgame would not want to rush the mouse, would not want to focus the mouse, but this player right here could go into B and capture the base. And he's doing that. And he's trying to get TQT the cap lead back by capturing B. And Endgame might be paying for trying to reset Rimpelstiltskin. But Rimpelstiltskin gets out of B again, or takes an HE splash. TQT, they're sending Nico into B. I think TQT are trying their best to capture B. And Endgame, are they going to reset B? At the same time, we can see a push coming in from Baby Potato onto Palfa and Peggle. And this is going to be a big push. Endgame game pins it here. They need to find a breakthrough, otherwise they're going to lose a lot of tanks. Endgame, they need to find a breakthrough, and TQT doing really good in the pincer movement. They're trying to take out Pariana Grande, and Pico and Paro are trying to rush the mouse. And this is exactly what TQT wants them to do. TQT gets B, and they get C as well. And that kill onto Powerful right there will see the deal. Endgame unable to find a big breakthrough when TQT did a pincer movement onto them. Great job to TQT. That's a solid start for them. Well done. Endgame looked very rusty here. And not like we saw against the not the team we saw against Crowley. This is looking a lot more hesitant and a lot more a lot less cautious, so to speak. Great start by TQT. I mean, this is a really strong performance by TQT, very solid performance. Endgame was not allowed to do much here, and this is not to say Endgame is a bad team. TQT just showing us what they are capable of doing, so well done to TQT. You can't wait for my analysis. I'll see if I have time for analysis, because I have to do a lot of stuff behind the scenes with power rating, Thomas Peterson, and also getting all the results in. So we see if we have time for analysis, but on the Apex server I didn't have time. We shall see. Let's see. Okay, are we seeing changes here? Endgame, we're seeing one Super Conqueror, 60 TP, a Strift K, no, double Super Conqueror, VK, and a Strift K. TQT on the other hand, double T125, a 60 TP, a Mouse, a Strift K, and a T100 LT. And double T125, double 60 TP. I almost got it. I almost got it from memory. Barely made it. Anyway, endgame from the south spawn. They are going to commit their forces over to sea with TQT from the north spawn, going to sea with these tanks. So we can see a big brawl coming from the sea area. But let's look at Classical. He is going to get the spots for TQT. He spotted nothing, so that's going to give them some information as to where Endgame is. Endgame is not taking a light tank, so this is going to be interesting because you really want a light tank to gather information. But great job by Endgame in their position, in their possessions, working the crossfire well. Nico takes a lot of shots. Oh my god, there's the Liberty. Takes a huge hit from Harrow, I believe. But Pimenta also takes a big one from a 60 TP. Endgame, they're not getting pincered at the moment. Oh, but they're going really aggressive, ignoring the mouse. They're, oh my god! Baby Potato gets ammo rack, and this is going to facilitate a great push from Endgame unless TQT gets one down. Endgame are now crowding into TQT setup, trying to take out Nico, and then that's Liberty, I would say. But Endgame's focus fire is lagging a bit. They need focus fire. TQT, if they could capitalize on this, they could bring some tanks back. Endgame takes a Pariana Grande, and then it really, they can't take Pariana Grande. They took out Nico and Irina, and now it's a 6 versus 3 situation. Endgame now, they lost Pego and Pico. It's now 4 versus 3. And they're trying to take a Classical as well. Classical is going to be really important in late game phases. Pimenta puts a great shot onto performance and endgame. 3 versus 3. TQT are trying to make a comeback, and it's possible. Although the hit points are firmly in favor of endgame, they're going to focus on performance now. Rimpo Soskin in the mouse, trying to put a good shot onto Puss. And we have performance still alive. And performance bounces onto Puss. Sorry. Puss will put a good shot onto performance, and that's the case. Classico, it's a one shot. And performance is out of the fight. And we can say 3 versus 1. Classico is also out of the fight. And I can't help but think of a Paul meme with the name, the PUSSIA Paul meme. If you know what I'm talking about, it gets really viral, and then some uses the song to remix with other songs. I think one of the most popular ones would be is it the Castle? I forgot the Japanese cartoon movie, Castle, something along the lines of Castle, and it gets, and remixing something less serious with something very serious, it becomes quite hilarious. Oh well. I went off a bit of a tangent here, but endgame, 3 tanks doing more than 2k, and TQT, 2 tanks doing more than 2k. Endgame get one back with an important ammo rack onto TQT, just like the situation of GB versus SDIJ earlier on the Apex server. When you get an ammo rack during a brawl, you are going to be on a huge advantage, but Endgame's advantage almost got undone by their somewhat lack of focus fire, but they immediately rectified that issue, and also their shot efficiency is pretty good. So the lapse in focus fire in the mid game stages didn't really cost them the game at all. So well done to Endgame. Why am I laughing? I don't know. Maybe because I just can't stop laughing at those endgame names. Starting with the letter P, a bit of a random choice, but then, the team name is now Pain Game, so I believe it's named after the letter P from pain, and then we are going to be seeing some changes onto my ruins. There we go. Endgame, red team from the south spawn, and TQT, blue team from the north spawn.
Time to roll out.
Alright, let's follow Lego in the, or Pego in the Strift K. And Classical, again, in the Soul Light Tank. It didn't quite work out last game because there was an ammo rack, but both of these both the players spotted one another, but they returned fire. The Pego had higher alpha, so in terms of trading, Endgame is leading this. However, great shots onto Ripple Soulskin by Endgame. They are working the crossfire well, but that TQT also put some good shots. Pavetta takes a hit, but then again, the alpha, Endgame had higher alpha, but not. Ooh, that was brutal from Winch or Pinchester onto performance. So trading again, Endgame leading the trading game. Baby Potato takes a hit, or Tatter as we speak. Baby Tatter. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about this, but Endgame, they do not have the cap advantage, but Ariana Grande will try capture B. Can TQT reset this? Or this Liberty will be met with resistance from Endgame, because Powerful, look at where he is at the moment. He's there to stop whoever's trying to reset Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande could try and get B, and I think he could get this. However, TQT performance is right next to Ariana Grande, and he will be ready to put a big one onto Ariana Grande. Is it going to be enough to bring an ammo rack? We will find out soon. But B will be captured by Ariana Grande, and he got it. He got this B cap, and that will bring Endgame the cap lead, and TQT will be made to rotate, not Endgame. And TQT can they rotate without getting crossfired at the start? It all depends on this. Oh, but we could potentially see TQT, Reaper Souls good Arena, and Nico trying to make a good push onto Pico, but they're going to push onto an open area. No, they're changing their routes. They're trying to go for Ariana Grande. Now, Ariana Grande will be in deep, deep trouble, and Endgame needs to respond to. Oh, big shot from Pinchester onto Nico. And Ariana Grande is safe for another day for now. Endgame 2 caps Ariana Grande. Very, very important here. He's going to have a lot of pressure on his hands. He's going to sweat a lot. But then, let's follow Classical sneaking into C. And we also see Nico taking a big one. Classical, can he steal C under grasp of Endgame? Let's find out now. Classical dropping into C. He's spotted. And Endgame might be ready to put a shot onto the T100 LT, but at the same time, we're seeing a push coming onto B. Ariana Grande gets pushed by 3 tanks, and then Paro is trying to put a good shot onto Nico. Nico is in trouble. It all depends on which team gets a kill first. Irina very low. Nico gets killed by Paro, and Ariana Grande is now the focus for TQT. Irina is also focused for Endgame. Endgame gets Irina, and now it has descended into Pandemonium with Destinity. The focus for Endgame. Can Paro puts a great one onto Destinity? He does, and Destinity is now one shot and gets killed. Endgame getting kills, not TQT, and those kills right here have extended the cap lead of Endgame, and TQT unable to answer Endgame capturing both A and B. They tried to steal, not A and B, it was B and C. They tried to steal C back, but that was immediately shut down by the Super Conquerors that are close to C. I keep mixing up those caps anyway. Well, great one from Endgame. I mean, it was solid for them. They retained the cap lead and isolated tanks of TQT. I think that was a little bit chaotic with the push. They weren't able to get kills, and that is the main reason why they lost this one. They weren't able to get kills, which gives endgame the effective DPM advantage, and you don't want to do that. Endgame, look at the last two battles. They killed the low hit point targets really quickly, and you really want a gun advantage to maximize your effective DPM. And now endgame is leading for the first time this evening. So let's go back. Endgame versus TQT on Mayan Ruins. You don't want to say the first name or on the subs bench for a pain game. I mean, as a commentator, you try so hard not to laugh at that name, man. Anyway, we go back to the fourth battle of the evening. Endgame currently leading TQT 2-1. TQT losing momentum now. We are seeing the losing organization in the last couple of in the last two battles. They have to regroup themselves. They can definitely do an amazing job, and they won against Endgame convincingly in the first battle, and they can absolutely do it. But they need to arrest the slump. They need to arrest the slump. Palfer at the moment will go to the middle, and Baby Potato will get saved. Oh, will Palfer go right onto say to get Baby Potato out of the way? Oh, we see a shot coming in. Good shot from Palfer onto Baby Potato. Will he put another one onto Baby Potato? Nico takes another one. Oh, we can see TQT going straight onto Palfer potentially, but Endgame has the Super Conqueror's pincered. It all depends on whether TQT is able to pincer Palfer quickly, or Endgame able to take out the Super Conquerors more quickly. It seems Endgame will take out the Super Conquerors much more quickly than TQT takes out Alpha. Although Ariana Grande is now really low. He really does now dead. Immediately, Endgame has got two guns of advantage. Baby Potato is trying to run away, but the double strip case will prevent that from happening. Great shot onto Baby Potato and TQT. Those three heavy tanks are trying to push, but they are met with resistance. Peril is going to put a great shot onto Rimpelstiltskin, but then Performance at Classical is bumping onto Peril, making it really difficult. Baby Potato is killed by Peril, and Rimpelstiltskin is being killed by Ariana Grande. Look at the hip-hop push sharing of Endgame. Brilliant hip-hop push sharing. Performance is out of the fight, and TQT dropping like flies at the moment. Peril is out of the fight. And now Endgame is going for Classical. There is very little response. I don't mean it this way. I mean, TQT couldn't do better in this situation. Endgame's focus fire was simply on point. I'm not sure if it was a great idea to just go and push onto Alpha with two Super Conquerors. And I mean, those Super Conquerors got taken out very rapidly because they're showing the backside to the Endgame's main forces, which means Endgame could just spam their HEs to the backside, and those Super Conquerors they were removed almost instantly, and the pincer movement onto Alpha didn't quite work out, and Alpha is still alive on the battlefield doing more than 3k. I mean, TQT is really losing momentum here. I think they are a bit. I mean, the last battle looks a bit reckless to me. I mean, in that situation, that 1-to-1B can just run away. I mean, 1-to-1B is a medium tank, has speed. The Super Conquerors, they have to be careful. They are Super Conquerors. They are not a 60 TP. So you have to be aware of those HE shells from behind. TQT needs to stay calm, stay composed. They can do it. They can absolutely do it. But they're starting. I mean, they look like to be on tilt right now, and that's not something we want to see. TQT are better than this, and let's see about New Bay whether TQT is able to bring a couple back. And then game, they are not having any of it. They are now taking triple bounce, double ISM with a double strift K. Let's say 3-1 for endgame. It's a best of 5, best of 7 series, Brando. Let's say about this.
Let's go.
Let's go up high and see where both teams are going to go. Endgame, red team for the south spawn, the triple mouse strategy. It could work on New Bay. Again, New Bay is armor oriented, so the mouses could work very nicely. And let me remind you, don't send a light tank over to B right at the start. You don't want to. You don't want a repeat of what happened to a couple of teams doing that. And this is why Endgame didn't take a light tank over to B. And C will be captured by TQT at the start with double VKs. And Endgame will try and get A as, with the double strift Ks. Periano Grande is really aggressive. TQT have the cap lead, so they don't have to do much. They can try to pressure B, but they only need to put guns onto B for reset shots. They don't need to do much, they just have to hold. And they're going to be quite stacked against one another, which means it's going to be a hard push for endgame. It's going to be a difficult push. Let's see if TQT is going to set this one up well. Let's say endgame. Red team. What would they do? They don't have a light tank to get the information, but then it's a New Bay. It's forgivable if you don't take a light tank on New Bay. It's very enclosed, and those tall buildings would be difficult for you to put to spot tanks in the mid game stages. Although we do see light tanks going to the bridge side to spot if anyone's going to the bridge. But then the city side is just really difficult for you to spot with a light tank. Let's see about Ariana Grande in the IS-7 trying to force an issue onto TQT spawn. He is going to have a lot of responsibility because he is very, very isolated. Although TQT doesn't know this, so let's see what TQT will do. Would they try and make a counter push? Nico coming in will spot Ariana Grande. Turning the turret, but Ariana Grande might fire one in return. Oh, it is the case. Ariana Grande just have to stay back. Great shot from Ariana Grande. Paro takes a hit, but we could potentially see a push coming in from TQT onto Ariana Grande now. Endgame needs to do something. They got B, and that's an important cap. But Ariana Grande will not survive for long. He's in an IS-7, mind you. He does not have the reactive armor, so he will go down really, really quickly. However, Classical is also very isolated, so who is going to be taken out first? Is it going to be Ariana Grande, or is it going to be Classical? We'll find out really soon. And endgame, 6 tanks over to Classical, and also 6 tanks over to Ariana Grande. But it appears that endgame is able to take out Classical first. And Ariana Grande is finally down, but both teams have lost 1 tank. We also see C-Cap being captured, but Nico is driving immediately onto B. TQT will try to get both A and B back, but Pico gets a huge hit. But Angie is just completely ignoring B right now. I'm not sure if that's the best idea, because Nico can get B unopposed. Although Angie could try and muster a push onto these tanks right here. They have the numerical advantage, not TQT. But they really need to get the focus fire on point, because at the moment, the hit points are neck and neck. If they don't focus fire well, TQT could bring this one back with the caps. And we can see endgame looking to focus onto Arena, but Palva gets absolutely pulverized by Rippososkin and Arena, although Arena is now out of the way. It's now a 6 versus 5 situation. Potato is now off the fight, and we can see Rippososkin to focus for endgame. Endgame gathering their focus. And now Nick trying to capture C. TQT trying to steal all 3 caps. Performance is now down to a 1-shot, and Pinchester is also a 1-shot. So 6 versus 2 now. Performance after fight. Destined Liberty bounces onto Pinchester. And we can see Nico being chased down by 3 tanks. Nico down to a one-shot, trying to kill Powerful. He does, but Pego will kill Nico. And that leaves Destiny Liberty, the last person standing. Pinchester is a one-shot still. But I would say DKT unable to take out the low pool targets. Although they made a great call to get those bases, but they were unable to take out Endgame's tanks and slow down their push, and that meant Endgame would win this one 4-1 despite TKT leading the first, winning the first battle. Well done to Endgame. And TKT, they have to arrest their slump in the next fixture because the last couple of battles have not been the best from them. They have been struggling with the organization in the last couple of battles. But I'm sure they could come back stronger because TOT is a decent team. I mean, at the end of the day, they have to knock out Raid in order to be safe in the top 8 on the very last River Skill tournament. So they are a top 8 quality team, and they need to prove that in the next fixture. Endgame would be happy to start off the professional tournament with an important win against TKT. 4-1 it is the scoreline. Alright, let's say we have scorelines for the professionals tournament. I believe our games have ended quite quickly. So let's say. Alright, we do. APA 4-0 against Immortals. No surprises there. Aqua still playing against Rejects, and Crowley still playing against Ikra. Alright. So at the moment we have Endgame and APA with 1 round win. TKT currently in the 3rd place because they have 1 battle win. Let's see if we have results for the Challengers tournament. As we have Vale versus Noxu and X versus who? Let's find out now. Challengers tournament results. And Noxu won against Vale. Important win right here. Vale was tipped to win against Noxu with a comfortable scoreline, but it wasn't the case. Well done, Noxu. Raid 3-0 against Istra, and Pork 3-0 against FaZe. Well done to Raid and Pork. And Istra needs an answer to FaZe in the lower bracket first round, but we have results there. Oh, sorry, it was Pork versus FaZe. I will change this. I'll change this promo because the website is switching both Pork and FaZe. There we go. All right. How about the lower bracket, lower echelon championship? Let's find out now. Okay, so we have Trick 3-2 against Ryesh. Well done to Trick. And then we have Bart 3-1 against Unlucky. It was a bit of a surprise here. Unlucky was tipped to win this bracket. Zero GT 3-0 against Olendi. And DM 3-0 against I. Surprises, surprises. I didn't see those 2 wins coming here. TUFUA 3-0 against Opax. Well done to TUFUA. Crayon 3-1 against PWNZ. Next we have Cracked Esports 3-0 against High, and Raffle still playing against RNG. I think this is going to a tiebreaker. So well done to the following teams at the moment. I'm going to put the results all into power rating. Bear with me. We'll come back to other results very soon, but maybe we'll have the time to do analysis. I think it's good to do analysis on Mayan Ruin's first battle. So not a lot of luck for Thomas Peterson so far, although they predicted the correct outcome for Endgame and APA. I'll bring you back to Winter Thomas Peterson for a moment. All right, so let me regenerate the power rating for you. Okay. Ah, interesting. Oh, with the win of Noxu, that will send Noxu, well, still in this 19th position last time I checked, but now very close to the top 16. So well done to Noxu. They could probably enter top 16 if they win tomorrow. We'll say. Veil dropping down. The rating is dropping at the moment. I wonder why. Oh, what a nurse. Huh, so not supposed to happen like that. I should have done something wrong. Don't know what happened. It's not supposed to calibrate stuff. Not supposed to calibrate anything. Let me fix it. Oh, I see. Fix it. Let me quickly fix it because that's just not making any sense. This is going to make more sense now. Hey, this is making more sense. Yes, this is making more sense. Sorry for a bit of an interruption there. How about if I remove it? Do we see any changes? Huh. Oh, brilliant. It's not changing. Okay. Now I have the right power rating. Sorry about the brief disruption. But yeah. Okay. Anyways, let's see. We have more results coming up. Let's go for the lower echelon championship. Oh, RNG won 3-2 against Raffle. That was a really close one for Raffle. I feel sorry for them that they are not able to win against RNG. A huge result for RNG. And that will send them through to tomorrow, and they don't have to play anymore tonight. Let's look at the Challengers Tournament. Axe versus who? They finished playing, and it is going in favor of Axe. Sorry, 3-2. Another shock result here. We are not expecting Axe to lose. This is going to be exciting because Noxu won against Fool before. Unfortunately, we have two top 8 wannabes, not wannabes, that's a very negative word, top 8 contenders in the previous Q tournaments against one another in the lower bracket first round that will be out. And it will be a painful one. I'm afraid Vale and Axe both are really strong clans, strong teams, but one of them will be out tonight. Who would that be? And let's see about whether we have results for the Professionals Tournament. See you in a bit, Brando. Thanks for tuning in for Endgame. Okay, we have a couple more results. Ikra 4-1 against Crowley. Surprisingly, this is a surprising result. I didn't expect the scoreline to be that big. It is what it is, though. So I think Thomas Peterson has a really rough start. Has had a really rough start. 4-1 for Ikra. This is going to hurt them. We'll wait for the result of Akva versus Rejects then. Alright. So now the scoreboard will look like this. APA endgame. Let me actually bring you back to Thomas Peterson and see how calamitous the predictions are. Well, actually not really, because at the moment Thomas Peterson has predicted 3 correct outcomes for the Professionals Tournament. So we are still waiting for Aqua versus Rejects, but we definitely know Aqua did not win Rejects 4-0, so it will be a much closer one. Challengers Tournament, Vale didn't win against Noxu, that was an upset. Axe didn't win against Fool, another upset. Raid versus Isra correctly predicted, and also Paul versus Face, albeit with a much bigger scoreline. But then you say the lower echelon championship is a bit of because I'm lucky didn't win against Bot, and Bot won that one. Olenity and I didn't win against Zero GT and DM. Unfortunately, it was Zero GT and DM winning against them. The other team. TUFUI did win against OPAX, and that was included. Crayon did win against VWNZ. RNG did win against Raffle, but with a much closer scoreline. Kraken Esports did win against High, if I remember correctly. I just have to see it on my stream. Yes, they did 3-0. Not that close. So, well, actually, it wasn't that catastrophic. At least Thomas Peterson got like 5 correct outcome predictions. For lower echelon championship, which is not too bad considering we don't have lots of games to calibrate there. And then got the professionals tournament spot on, although not the scoreline at the here. Challengers tournament not really that spot on, although 2 correct outcomes. So well, not too shabby for Thomas Peterson, but could be better, if I must say. There is the it's the Champions League happening tonight. The Milan derby. In the semi-final of the Champions League. So that was a big one. But then, well, good for you to focus on your to put your attention to this game. Although you have a good roster. Right, let's see the results for ARWV versus Reject, and then let's see if we have time. We'll have to spend some time to make some predictions from Thomas Peterson. Oh, ARWV did not win. It will be Rejects winning ARWV 4-2. Well done to Rejects team. I saw their performance in the previous year tournament, and I'm actually impressed. So I wasn't wasn't shocked to see Rejects getting an important win here. Well done to Rejects team. And we're going to Aggie versus Rejects. Rejects winning 1 so far. So no team here tonight will no, all 4 teams here tonight. Well, currently APA, Aggie, Ikra, and Rejects will not get 2 round wins after tonight. One of them will only get 1 round win. And one of them will get at least a 1 round win from the teams that are currently trailing with 0 round wins. So can ARWV? Oh no, who will get the win? Is it going to be Crowley or is it going to be Immortals? Alright, so let me go back and I will start doing new predictions, so bear with me for a moment. Let's ask Thomas Peterson what they think about the next couple of matches. Right, we have new odds. Okay, so before we continue, let me post the results on my server quickly. At the moment, we have not this table. I need table, the table, and we have the bracket. Then I just need to. Fantastic. And then I need to upload the odds to my server. You will have already seen it by now. And voila, we will show you the predictions from Thomas Peterson. Okay, let's see. Okay, so Thomas Peterson has made the following predictions. Endgame in round 2. The fixture we're following next predicted to win 4-3 against Rejects, another close one. The last time when we predicted Endgame to barely win against TQT, it didn't go that way. So how will it go against Rejects? Is it going to be a 4-3 victory, or is it going to be a bigger margin for the Endgame? We will find out. APA predicted to win against TQT 4-0 was such a big margin there. The odds for TQT are extremely low, trailing at 17.85. I was going to double check whether I got it wrong, but I'm afraid I didn't. This is not what I was predicting. I don't say the odds are that low, but if you put that performance of TQT against a high performing APA, then I won't be surprised APA could take this one home 4-0. But let's hope it's not going to be this case, although I support APA in doing well. But you don't want to spend all your energy already. ARWV predicted to win ICRA 4-2. Interesting one. Not a tiebreaker, as I would imagine. Maybe it's because ARWV have better head-to-head record against ICRA. I will have to double check that. And then Crowley are predicted to win Immortals 4-0, but the odds of Immortals winning are a lot a lot higher than the last one. The odds now dropping to 5.05, so there is still a chance for Immortals to bring it home. And then we have Challengers lower bracket first round. Vale predicted to win Axe 3-2, but it was really close. The odds are almost even here. And then Isra predicted to win FaZe 3-0 in favor of Isra. As we see, FaZe, the odds are quite low, 4.38, although they could take a couple home. But Isra have been performing really well in the previous guild tournaments. Lost to whoever that is. I need to check my stream. So it was quite a surprise that Vale asked Isra currently higher up on the power rating to be playing in the lower bracket first round. So the Challengers tournament are pretty much up for grabs at the moment. Yeah. Oh, actually, it's not that much of a surprise because Isra were up against Raid. So not a big surprise actually in the end. But the lower bracket first round, those games are going to be extremely close, all predicted to go to a tiebreaker. But the winners are Unlucky I, the PWNZ, and High, according to Thomas Peterson. Right, so we will have the room invite very soon, around 9 minutes, so we definitely do not have time to analyze. So sorry for Exploding Guy for staying to see if I'm going to analyze, but apparently I spend a lot of time calibrating my Thomas Peterson and so on, so unfortunately no for you. Sorry. So, endgame versus rejects. What do you think? I forgot to close the poll, obviously. I need to open a new one. 69% of you predicted endgame would win in the last one, so let me start the poll again. Is it going to be endgame or rejects? Go and vote in the poll now. Great to see more than 20 people watching at one point, but let's hope we could reach to a higher viewership. But now you're saying endgame, or immediately there's a vote to endgame here, and then immediately there's a vote to rejects, and this is going to be a close one. All right. Righto. It will be a good match for sure, Brando. I agree with you. The odds are quite close, so I will expect some amazing stuff. Only 6 more minutes until the room is up, so I'm not going to play a battle. But yeah, what do you all think? And the room should be up soon. About 4 minutes ago. I don't know why I haven't received the room invite. That's weird. That's weird. I'm not receiving a room invite here. This is bad news. Oh. Ah, there we go. Room invites here. I thought Talia might have done something wrong here. It wasn't the case. Quickly, let me go through the brackets for... Oh, sorry. Got to switch back to lounge. Okay, let's go back to the lounge. Okay, so both Dino and I will be following Endgame versus Rejects. And then Fujit will be following TQT versus APA. Robert, who is streaming in Spanish, will follow ARWV versus Ikra. There are a couple of others that will be following this, but one of them, let me see. ARWV versus Ikra. Yes, iShot will be following this in Russian. And then Immortals versus Crowley, that will be followed by Elminet in English, obviously. The maps are Vineyards, Vlad, Gofield, Middleburg, and Yukon, as I briefed earlier. This map pool is good for teams who do well with mobility-oriented setup, so Rejects might benefit here. I would not be surprised if Rejects are able to take a couple of battles at the start. As we move towards the tiebreaker maps, the maps start to get a bit more enclosed, more enclosed. So we do see Endgame potentially coming out on top. if they manage to survive the first couple of battles. So yeah, I think Endgame might struggle a little bit at the start, but if they could survive, if they can win a couple on their way, the last 2 maps I imagine will be stronger maps for Endgame. Let's see if it's the case. So 3 minutes left to go. Let's jump into the waiting room. As we can see, Endgame versus Rejects. This is going to be a tough cookie. Endgame, Pinchester will take FE4 to Pembenza 1-1B, Pariana Grande, Sheridan Peril, IS7, Pico, Super Conqueror Palfer, and Striff K alongside Pego maybe. So 3 lights or mediums for Endgame side with pretty mobile heavy tanks too. Rejects on the other hand, surprisingly are taking a heavier lineup. They are currently ready with double MLEs, double Striff Ks, a TVP, potentially will take Kron and also a Striff K. Or maybe not, they're changing up a little bit. Alright, so we have Pego ready in a Striff K. Interesting setup for Endgame. But then we are on Vineyards. It's a map that is mobility oriented, so you do see a couple mediums and lights, and it's also quite an open map, so I would not be surprised if we do see a lot of crossfire shots coming from Endgame and Rejects going very aggressive. But then I don't know, we shall find out. Bobby in the TVP, Coil and Playmaker double MLEs. I'm not sure if it's the same Playmaker as the Raid Playmaker long time ago. Can someone update me on that? Maybe Blue can update me on this. Tonikawa, Slobin, double Striff K. No, triple Striff K with Scorpion as well, Nagabator. TVP, a couple of them were from Pink Team, if I remember correctly. Scorpion and Slobin. No, not Slobin. Not Slobin. Tonikawa, I remember, was from Pink. Or is he from Ikra? I forgot really. Yeah, exciting games. 9-0 will be following this too. So let's see. Let's get into the first battle of tonight, where it will be, not tonight, of the second round. It will be Endgame versus Rejects. Double checking the scoreboard. I have the right teams and logos. Let's roll out.
Let's go.
Endgame, red team from the south spawn, Rejects blue team from the north spawn. Looking at Pariana Grande in the Sheridan. Who will get a cap lead first? Apparently it will be Endgame because Pariana Grande is the one doing the cap. No one for Rejects is capping A, which is interesting, but then looking at what Rejects will do very soon, they're going to make a huge push. But they are pushing without any information, so I'm not sure if it is going to work. Although they kind of stopped Playmaker and Coil in the double MLEs. Will Endgame be able to spot the double MLE soon? Playmaker and Coil are both spotted now. It all depends on Pinchester and also Pamantha, the crossfire. But Pariana Grande took a huge hit. Rejects are now barreling in. They're trying to push onto Endgame spawn, and Endgame are ready for this push from Rejects. At the same time, Pico has taken a lot of hits, but the TVPs, and it's now down to 1,000 hit points. Coil takes another one from Endgame's crossfire, and Rejects' push has been stopped. And this is the time for Endgame to bite back. And Coil was on fire and got killed by fire. It's incinerated to death. And now Endgame will be able to breathe. But Pego takes a fire. Oh, this is going to be really close. It's all about focus fire. Now Power takes a big one. But Endgame is sharing hit points nicely. but there is a numerical disadvantage over to B. Pinchester and also Samantha are very far away from the rest of the team, and Rejects are now trying to get Ariana Grande and also Scorpion down to a one-shot. Pinchester and also Mentha needs to come in and support the team. Rejects focus fire is very on point. 5 versus 6 right now. Scorpion's out of the way, but Paris is going to be taken out very quickly too. I don't know if Angame's able to pull this one back unless they can take one of the TVPs out here. TVPs are now fully reloaded, trying to take out Pinchester. Pinchester will be in deep trouble here. Good shots and negative by it, but I think Pinchester will be taken out. Great shooting by Pimenza. The double TVPs are out of the fight. 2 versus 3 here, but I'm not sure. Pinchester one shot, Sloven takes out Pinchester. That leaves Pimenza the last person standing, and this is how you do a push. SDIJ, this is how you make a push. Great job by Rejects. Gathering some information. I managed to focus down a couple of tanks, and Endgame will have to answer this type of strategy by Rejects. Rejects are not having any of this. As I said, Vineyards is such an open map, so it will benefit this type of strategy. Endgame will not win the first battle again. Rejects will lead the first one. But I think Endgame has the right idea, which is to do crossfire and to smother the aggressive strategy of Rejects as much as possible. Unfortunately, they couldn't do that because Rejects are able to isolate Endgame's tanks sitting near the spawn, and Endgame, I think Pimenza and Pico underestimated their capability to hold on before they could come in to support the team. Rejects will lead one very quick game from Rejects. Not really the first time we see in high level tourneys. We do see Photo to be taken from time to time. It's a rare tank, but it's not as rare as tanks like Minotauro, for example, or even the T62A. I do see 4202 taken more often than the T62A actually. So let's go back to the second battle on Vineyards. Currently, Endgame will drop that 4202. They're going to be taking a TVP, a T100 LT, an IS-7 double Strift K Kron, and a Super Conqueror. Rejects on the other hand, a Vickers Light, an MLE, quadruple Strift K, and a TVP. We will go back soon. We'll go back in. Currently 1-0 for Rejects. Let's see what both teams are going to do in this one. Endgame, red team from the north spawn with Rejects blue team from the south. Are we going to be seeing a walkover from Rejects, or will Endgame bring it close? Let's find out now. Okay, Rejects, blue team. Let's follow Bobby Fischer, and the Vickers Light is going to get a lot of spots for the team. B will be captured right at the start by Slobin, but Rejects, do they have an idea here? Bobby not really doing any spotting actually, but Endgame not capturing any hand. Rejects the cap lead. Oh, Pinchers is spotted. Parum is not spotted at the moment, so they cannot push forward. They cannot go to the ruins because Rejects will be ready to punish them. Bobby Fischer spotted. Peril looking to put a big shot, but it's a miss sadly. That lands quite far away from where Bobby Fischer is, onto the crater there. However, Endgame will get C, meaning Endgame, can they also get A? That's a great question. But Ariana Grande will get C with impunity. And opposed, but Rejects, are they going to push forward? Are they going to take out Pinchester and Peril? Endgame setup is not exactly close, and this is going to be a great opportunity for Rejects to take out Pinchester here. Pinchester is now in deep trouble. The focus is on Pinchester, but Endgame are struggling to find a target to focus on. But Bobby Fischer has taken a couple of shots. Pinchester is the first tank being taken out. And now Peril will be the focus by Rejects here. Endgame unable to consolidate, and this could be big. Scorpion, great shot to Paro. Paro is now down to a 2-shot, maybe a 1-shot Pico, driving up, but he's going to take some time to do that. Paro is going to be taken now. It's now 5 versus 7. Hit points in favor of Rejects, and now Rejects are looking for Pego. Pego is now down to a 1-shot, and will not survive for long. Endgame unable to focus fire here. Great kill by Slorben, and now Powerful is the next one for Rejects. Being taken out immediately by Powerful, by Slorben. And Pico unleashed the entire clip. Endgame unable to focus fire. Great job to Rejects. The focus fire was on point. 100% on point. Almost perfect, in fact. Periana Grande is going to do a great shot on Coil on Bobby Fischer doing a 1 versus 1. Even if Periana is able to get the win on Bobby Fischer, I don't think it's going to be enough for Endgame. Periana Grande gets taken out by Negabator Bites. Immediately, we are seeing a 2-0 victory in favor of Rejects. Great, another great fight from Rejects team. This is a decisive push by Rejects. Timed the push really well when Endgame setup is still pretty spread out. Endgame lack of focus fire hurts them a lot here. They weren't able to take out a tank in the end, except for Coil. They kept on losing tanks, and if you're able to gain a good solid numerical advantage, then you're in a good situation. Especially when the hit points are close. Rejects made sure Endgame will be below Rejects in the effective DPM, and now Rejects leading 2-0. We can safely say that Rejects are going to be a contender for the season. Now EPA are going to have a big opponent here, Endgame. They have to wake up now, because this is not good enough for them, for their standards. We're changing to Black Gold Field, a similar map to Vineyards, also another open map. We will see about this. Rejects quadruple Strift K. They are taking double TVPs. Concept 1B Endgame, on the other hand, will take a double Strift K, double IS7, a Super Conqueror, and perhaps double 215Bs. Milk on the subs bench. Reminds me of SDIJ, yes. But what Rejects did a lot better is that they penetrated most of their shots, and they focus fire. They do focus fire a lot better too. So SDIJ can learn a lot from Rejects tonight if they are watching this stream. And let's go into the third battle. We are going to Black Gold Field. This time, Endgame taking a heavier setup, dropping the light tank. Rejects, they will have double TVPs. It seems to have worked wonders for them in the last 2 battles, and if it works, why fix it? If ain't, yeah, the saying is, if ain't broken, why fix it? Rejects, double TVPs, can they do it again? Endgame going to commit most of the forces to A. They're going to play a lot closer this time, which might be enough to give them some wins. Pego was spotted, looking to put shots onto Tonikawa. Good one. The triple strip case. This is really reminding me of SDIJ push onto the case, but are they ready for this push? Endgame, are they ready? Have they learned from GV here? Or did they not watch the stream of GV versus SDIJ? Because that reminds me a lot of the SDIJ push onto the cave. And look at the TVPs coming in to try and take out Pinchester. He has dropped the reactive armor now. There is breathing space because the double TVPs are now on a drum reload. And now we're seeing Endgame trying to make a counter push onto the caves. They really need to share the hit points well. Endgame now leading in hit points and now make a counter push on Slorben. And they need to take out Slorben quickly because the TVPs are almost fully reloaded. Alpha is now a 1-shot. Gets taken out by Punisher. And we can see now Slorben now down to a 1-shot. Tonikawa also 1-shot. Slorben's down. Pego's also 1-shot. And Playmaker gets a kill here. And Pinches down. Pego's down. 4 versus 5. The hit points are very, very close. But again, Rejects with the numerical advantage. That will give them a huge advantage And Angi's focus fire is not really at the best at the moment. I see Kodakawa looking to put a good shot onto Pico, but Pico takes the tank out. Punisher is still alive. If not, well, he's not alive now. Paro is going to put a shot onto Scorpio. I will say. Oh, it's a miss though. Is it a bounce? I think it's a bounce. And rejects. They have Negabeta in the SO TVP. The DPM could be an issue, but endgame, can they do this? Can they pull this off? 3 vs 2 now. Great shot from Pariana onto Playmaker, and Peiko has an important kill, bringing this to a 1 vs 3 fight. Rejects making it really, really close and very aggressive. Even if Negabeta Bites puts a shot onto Paro, he will be killed, and endgame gets one back. Well done to endgame. Responded to that push really well, and this time they played into the double TVP lineup of rejects. They understood when to make a counter push. They made it when the TVPs are on a drum reload. If you could avoid the TVPs from unleashing their clip together, then you will have that advantage with the DPM and endgame. This time they are steadily getting into the fight. It's now a 1-2, and they've got an important win. If they can continue in the next one, if they could win another one, the next 2 maps will be better maps for endgame. We will see. Rejects, not the time to lose steam. They are still very aggressive, very hyper aggressive there. Focus fire is still brilliant. I think the last battle the focus fire was slightly off, but not too far off compared to the previous 2. But then the previous 2, the focus fire is just a lot better for me. For rejects, the last one's not that far off. It was not at that discipline. Although endgame focus fire, they're still. I mean, the focus fire was not like terrible, but I mean, they have to make sure focus fire is on point, because I do fear that endgame going for multiple targets at one time could cost them the game. But we will see. We will find out in the next one. Let's go in. Second battle on Black Ophel, which is also the 4th battle we are seeing tonight. Exploding Guy asks, how does one counter you like that? Endgame showed a couple of times, slow their push. GB showed that one really nicely. Slow their push, let them bleed, and minimize the efficiency of their push as much as possible by not taking a lot of hits. But endgame, what would they do this time? Rejects are going to a different location. Bobby Fischer is spotted, and Pinch is just going down a bit. The route for Pariana grounding, very important. At T100 LT. Oh, Scorpion takes a big hit, and so is Negabated by it. So great start for endgame actually. Regis tries to get C. They will get C with an opposed, but they will lose a lot of hit points driving onto C. Now, endgame have rejects in the corner, the southeastern corner. So endgame potentially have the map control here, not rejects. Rejects, they have the cap lead, but they will have a really hard time defending this cap lead, as endgame have their pent in the corner. Pariana Grande will get A relatively safe, and that will still not be enough for endgame to get the cap lead back. They will have to rely on a push over to C or take out 2 tanks, because at the moment the gap is more than 80 points. So endgame have to kill 2 tanks, or they take the cap of C back, or they can try B. I would say they can try B after they know they have pinned rejects to the corner, meaning it will be really difficult for rejects to reset B, but we shall find out what endgame would do here. Great start for Endgame. The hit point advantage is firmly in favor of Endgame. Now Ariana Grande is going to this bush to get some spots for Endgame, and Rejects will be wary about going back to the spawn to regain the map control. Now Ariana Grande will have a lot of responsibility. He does not want to lose a lot of hit points while trying to spot. Slorbin is spotted. Playmaker is spotted. And Neri, let's say about this. We'll follow Ariana Grande at the moment because he's going to be extremely crucial in getting the information for the team. Bobby is spotted. And what will Endgame do? What would they do? Will they get C or will they go for B? Or will they actually surprise us with a push to Rejects spawn? Which is possible. Although, I mean... it's possible to push onto Reject spawn. If I were Endgame, I could call for this. Not entirely out of the question, but then look at the lineup of Endgame. I don't think you can do this push at the moment. Bobby is spotted. Pinchester still not spotted. Look at Pinchester. He is not spotted while crossing, and this goes on to show how important it is for Endgame to pin those 4 tanks of Rejects to the corner right at the beginning, so that Endgame has a lot of room to roam around. And with Endgame leading by more than 2k hit points, this is surely their game to lose. It can't really fluff this one. I'm afraid this is going to be a hard one for Rejects. Although they still have the cap lead. They still have the cap lead, mind you. So, Rejects, it will be really, really intense. Paro driving into B now. It's pretty much what I would think what Endgame would do. Oh, great shot to Bobby Fischer. I'm not sure why Bobby Fischer relocated, because no one will reset B now, and Rejects, those 4 tanks are still pinned in the corner, with Rejects now pushing with 3 tanks over to A. Endgame will have enough tanks to deal with this. I'm not sure if this is going to work. It will rely on Rejects winning the 3-3-3 fight. Again, still 4 tanks pinned for Rejects team. Peril gets B. And now Kappas are now going to take in favor of Endgame. Well, good job to Endgame. Endgame training better here. Coil trying to get A. But Pinchester coming around, trying to put a great shot onto Playmaker. But it is a bounce, sadly. And there is also a bounce coming from Bobby Fischer. But unfortunately, Peril gets shut down by 2 tanks of Tony Kawa and Megabait by it. This is going to be an important one. If Regents are able to take B and take a Peril, this is going to be important. B has been taken, and Coil is out of the fight. Now Regents have 2 caps, really important. And this is going to decide whether Regents is going to take this one home or not. Endgame has taken full control over to the A area. They need to take out Bobby Fischer immediately, because if they lose another one, Rejects will win the next one. Bobby Fischer is now out of the way. We're seeing Slorbin and also Scorpion down to 1 shot. Pago needs to take 1 out, but it will not be enough because Rejects have taken the win as they have captured B. That was important, really, really important for Rejects. Well done to Rejects at Endgame. Got everything in control, but they should not have lost B there. That was so important for Endgame, and that was a huge, huge opportunity wasted now. Match point to Rejects, and Rejects only need to win 1 more to win this one. Middleburg is going to be an important map for Endgame make a comeback. We will find out soon, but Rejects now have the advantage, have the match point. Okay, so Middleburg, Rejects changing their strategy in the last battle, which gave them a really important victory in Endgame, the last battle. They will feel really gutted of not winning that. They had Rejects pinned to the southeastern corner. They had such tremendous map control. only for them to lose B like that and not able to kill those tanks out quickly enough. Otherwise, Endgame would have won that battle, in my opinion. And yes, we will find out what will happen. And on Middleburg, Endgame have to win 3 in a row. And if Rejects can win Endgame, they will be at a comfortable position coming to tomorrow, as they will know they will have 2-round wins. And that is going to be a good start to their campaign, as they're looking to challenge APA at the top. As I said in previous streams, I do think Rejects have a good chance of coming top 4. And this battle, and tonight is showing exactly why Rejects are a top 4 contender. Their individual skills are probably one of the best I've seen on the EU server. Strategy-wise, they might not be the best, but they make up for their teamwork and individual skills. And let's see about Endgame Red Team from the south spawn, committing their forces over to the hillside. Their Rejects are taking the double TVP strategy again. Ready for them to clip, but then looking at the medium tanks of Rejects, very aggressive at the start on C. Pariana Grande. Have to be cautious not to lose any hit points right at the beginning. And now the double TVPs are running away. Coil running away. The triple medium tanks are spotted running away, so Pariana Grande can try to get C back. A good shot onto Coil. And you will be wondering, what is the strategy of Rejects? Are they trying to get hold of the city side? And this is what I would think. Although Pinchester will be there to spot that. B is going to be captured by Rejects, and we could potentially see the medium tanks going for A as well. Good shot onto a tank trying to cap B, but there are 2 tanks capturing B, so Rejects will get B. And Rejects, are they going to get A as well? And that would mean Endgame will be in a bit of a situation. Although, even if you get both A and B, it's quite difficult to defend. It all depends on whether Endgame is able to muster a good 2-way push from both north side and south side. That's how you do a push, if you don't have the cap advantage for, here. Rejects now get both A and B, and they now have a cap advantage. And 5 cap points per 2 seconds, 10 cap points per 2 seconds increase for Rejects. There is essentially only 1 minute to go for Endgame before they have to absolutely make that push work. But it will be difficult because Endgame do not have the cap lead, and they will gradually lose a lot of hit points. Oh, Paro coming in. Spotted both Scorpion. Oh, good shot on the Scorpion, while Scorpion is daydreaming a little bit here. Endgame still trying to bleed Rejects. They are now having more than 3k of hit points of advantage. Pinchester, good shot to Tony Kawa, and Rejects bleeding a lot than I was expecting. Pico can try to shoot Scorpion, but he's aware of Slobin. Able to put a great shot to Pico. So Paro might be pushed by Playmaker and also Scorpion. I'm not sure if it's going to work. 2 versus 1 here. I mean, Pinchester can try to support Paro. Focus will be on Scorpion, unfortunately. And we could see a push coming in from Endgame onto Bobby. Where is his teammate? They will lose the TVP very, very quickly. Pego takes 2, takes 3, and takes 4 from Bobby. And now Bobby's not going to last for long. However, Endgame only managed to drop onto A. Bobby's now out of the fight. Paro is still alive for God knows what reasons. Has taken way too long for Rejects to kill a tank. Pimenta down to a 1-shot Pico. Still really healthy. But Endgame has lost another tank. It's now a 5 versus 2 situation. Endgame gets A back. It's an important capture here. And Pariana Grande has to share some hit points. He is essentially having full hit points. Pico takes a big one from Playmaker. Pariana Grande misses the shot. Coil gets killed by Pego. Now 2 versus 1 here over here onto Tony Kawa. Pego has to put a great shot onto Tony Kawa. Tony Kawa has to survive. But I'm not sure if Reject is going to bring it home. However, negative bias is trying to capture C. It's going to be important. Tony Kawa is out of the fight. 2 versus 2 fight here. Pico is now down to a 1-shot. Playmaker is also down to a 1-shot. And Scorpion is also quite low. Playmaker is out of the fight. And we could now see Pico looking to put a great shot on the Scorpion. Scorpion is out of the fight. Endgame gets a crucial battle win back. Bring it to a 2-3. Endgame, can they do this? Can they muster a comeback? Great job to Endgame. Solid performance. Rejects a little bit slow, especially onto Carol when Carol was pretty much in the ISO, IS4. Obviously, Carol does not have the reactive armor, so Rejects was a bit too slow in this, and Legabated Bias might have dropped into C a little bit too late, but we never know what's going on in their comms. But well done to Endgame. 2-3, maintain the cap hit point advantage. Made sure they are in control of the caps too. They learned from their mistake in their last battle. Now Endgame will go for triple super conks, double strifts, and double IS4s. Now Rejects are looking to take quintuple strip Ks and double MLEs. Will be their first time. Is it the first time? No, it will be actually the first time not to play a medium light. Though these heavy tanks are quite mobile. I am not sure about this, to be honest with you. The strip Ks have really good DPM. So, Endgame, are they ready for this? The DPM is going to be hugely in favor of Rejects. Endgame will have to answer this. We could potentially see strip Ks going really aggressive onto the hillsides of Endgame. Once they know what Rejects are taking in this battle, they will react to that. This will be a hard push to defend. Rejects, Endgame will have to make sure they hit on push air nicely. But the DPM, they're going to suffer from that. We shall find out here. Rejects, I think this lineup could work really well in favor of them. Let's say. Let's find out now. Endgame, red team from the north spawn with Rejects, blue team from the south spawn. Rejects will send the tanks over to the C area, to the hillside, as I expected. Endgame will react to that by sending everyone over to the hillside. But no no shots been hit. Biot's very aggressive in that position, but will not land a shot onto Pariana Grande. Now, the Strift K strategy, are they going for a YOLO push right at the start, as I would expect from Rejects? Endgame, can they weather out the storm? The DPM of Rejects would be hugely advantageous. I don't know. Can Endgame do this? They have to be really careful. Well, I think the only way that Endgame can do this is that they can get a couple bounces, but we all know Rejects can penetrate that shot, so I do fear for this. Now, Strift Ks have stopped pushing. They're finding a moment to push. What they're trying to do is they are trying to bleed Endgame, and Rejects haven't bled a lot so far, although they lost some hit points, but Endgame got C, so this is going to be important. Playmaker will get B, and will Playmaker get A as well. Endgame knows they have 7 tanks up on the hillside, but easily Playmaker can go back to support the team, so Endgame will not push for now. They're still trying to defend, but now Playmaker will drop to A. And what will Endgame do? Will they go for Playmaker 2 versus 1? And that could be Rejects will have a superior DPM advantage over the hillside. Is this a trap strategy by Rejects? Pimensa and Pego tentatively going for A. Pimensa looking back at C, seeing whether Rejects is going to make a push onto C. If I were Endgame, I would be very careful about this push, this move, because Endgame knows that they do not have the DPM all over to the hillside. They have to be really careful now. Rejects 2 caps compared to Endgame with only 1. Pressure's onto Endgame, but they're trying to retake A. with Pego there. But Rejects, are they going to make a push here? Periana Grande is going to retreat. Good shots onto the negative bias. Periana Grande only taking 1 hit here. So in terms of trading, Endgame is doing better, but C will be captured very soon. Oh, we could see Rejects working this position really well. Pico is now in deep trouble. Pego needs to come back up to support the team. Focus is now onto Pico. Pico is now in deep trouble. Can Endgame do something here? Endgame needs to take out Scorpion. Focus on Scorpion now. Playback is out of the way. For some reason, I didn't catch that entirely. Pinchester is in deep trouble. Periana Grande is in deep trouble. But now Endgame has made a call to push onto Bobby Fischer. Now it's a 6 vs 6 situation. 6 vs 5. 5 vs 5. They lost Pinchester as well. 4 vs 5. Scorpion now really low. The DPM is against Endgame, but Endgame still has the hit point pool advantage, and this could be really big. Pimenta needs to get a kill onto Scorpion. He does, and it's an important kill right here. Tonikawa misses the shot onto Pimenta. There are lots of misses from Rejects in this one. 3 vs 4 now. Great kill from Pimenta. This is going to be important, but Pimenta gets killed by negative bias. Now Pego tries to put a shot, but the hit points are in favor of Rejects now. The DPM again is going to be in favor of Rejects. Pego's not going to last long. Great kill to Pego. Negative bias now very low, despite Endgame having more shots onto Rejects. Again, the DPM is just not advantageous. They are Endgame with the tanks they're taking. I think the Super Conquerors are being taken to kind of hash the backsides of the Strift case. Unfortunately, Endgame Peril will go down, and this will mean Rejects win 4-2 against Endgame. Well done to Rejects tonight. Great solid win. They lost a bit of steam in the last couple of battles, but they held on, and this is enough to give them a win and prevent them going to a tiebreaker. Well done to Rejects, and they will bow out tonight with 2-round wins, despite Thomas Peterson not predicting them to win any rounds tonight. So well done to Rejects winning 2 important games, and I think that kind of performance will legislate a top 4 finish for them. I do think the chances of Rejects coming top 4 will be really high now. So let's see the results of other groups, of other fixtures. Okay, looking at round 2, APA 4-0 against TQT, Akva 4-0 against Acra. Well done to APA and Akva. Immortals and Crowley are still playing. Next we have the Challengers tournament. Okay, Vale 3-0 against Axe, meaning Axe are out of the Challengers tournament. A huge fall from grace for Axe. They've really lost their steam in the last couple of days. I feel so sorry for them, but Axe will be out of the tournament now. And next we have Ezra 3-0 against FaZe, which is a great win for Ezra. Now let's look at the Challengers tournament. The teams that are still in are Noxu, Hu, Vale, Raid, Pog, and Isra. And then looking at the lower echelon championship, we have Unlucky winning 3-0 against Ryash. So congratulations to Unlucky. And next. And next we have I 3-2 against Oleni, which means Oleni are out of the lower echelon championship. PWNZ winning 3-1 against Opax, meaning Opax are out of running. And next we have Raffle 3-0 against High. Surprising results for me, meaning High are out of running. So we have all the results except for Immortals vs Crowley, which I will go back and check. So bear with me on this. Wrong scoreline. All right, so there we go. There we go. Yeah, well done to Rejects. They were really good tonight. And I hope you don't spoil next time the score line for the viewers. Because that will not be fun for the viewers. Yeah, just simply I think it's Endgame's lineup, which is, oh my god, I forgot to go back to the lounge. Sorry. For me, it's just Endgame's lineup would be a main concern. They try their best, but their lineup is really not working against the lineup that was taken by Rejects. So Rejects did really well tonight. So I have to say they have performed amazingly, and they should now be a team to watch. So well done to Rejects. I mean, you can look at the leaderboard. We have APA, Rejects, Akbar, and Endgame in the top 4. Endgame ahead of Ikra because Endgame won 6 battles compared to Ikra with only 4. Crowley, we'll find out if they have results there. We do. Immortals surprisingly won Crowley 4-2. Crowley started the season really strongly, but then don't know what happened there. Immortals picked up a crucial win against Crowley, and Crowley will feel really gutted because Crowley had some talent, really talented players in their roster. For them to lose 2-4 against Immortals would be a hugely disappointing for them. Yeah, so this is it. Immortals now in the 6th place, tied with the same number of rounds as Ikra. So Ikra and Immortals are both in the 5th position. Ikra just above of Immortals due to alphabetical order, but Wargaming does not consider alphabetical order as the tiebreaker because it would not be fair anyway. Crowley and TQT 3-1. No, not 3-1. Crowley with 3 battle wins at the moment. TQT with only 1 battle win. Brando, it's a round robin. It's like a round robin, so consider to treat it like Premier League, as you wish. All right, so this is me for now. Thanks all for watching. I will see you tomorrow on the Apex server as we begin 2nd day, 3rd and 4th rounds. So thank you all for joining. See you tomorrow. Bye.